Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Take a look at this headline here from Daily Hodl. Crypto exchange Coinfield teases secret project for XRP. Launches Ripple-approved validator. Oh, what could this be? So I'm going to be jumping into that piece. Also got a piece titled California Government Includes Senator Ripple Executive in Blockchain Working Group. So I'm going to be running through that as well. Ripple in the news all over the place today, frankly. And I'm going to wrap up the piece with this. I just found this rather fascinating. It's a new piece from Daily Hodl titled Joe Rogan ponders Google's quantum breakthrough, says it could be huge threat to Bitcoin and crypto. And I tell you, most of the time when I'm out and about, whether I'm driving my car or walking my dog with the headphones and I'm listening to other XRP YouTubers, that's what I like to go to first. If I'm not listening to another XRP YouTuber or something about crypto, I do like to watch me some Joe Rogan. I think he's an interesting guy and always has on rather fascinating guests. But looking forward to jumping into that. Now, before we get going here, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. It's a gosh darn good idea. So let's dig right into this first piece here. The Canada-based crypto exchange Coinfield says it's a step closer to launching a mysterious project designed to push mass adoption of XRP. The exchange says it has launched an XRP validator and is preparing to roll out the project. The validator has already been added to Ripple's unique node list, UNL, of trusted servers. CEO Bob Ross is calling the upcoming project a, quote, game changer for both the digital asset and the blockchain industry as a whole. Now here's a quote. This new ecosystem is the most sophisticated project ever built on top of XRP Ledger, and it is the best use case for that. We believe this will be a big step forward for the whole industry and the mass adoption of XRP blockchain. Coinfield began teasing the project last month, and indeed, I did make a video about this when it came out because I was confounded about it, just like Anthony Pompliano is confounded as to the use case of XRP. The exchange posted a backwards S on Twitter, asking its followers for their take on the best use case for XRP. And I remember I had to do this a month ago. I was like, what is a backwards X? So I just Googled it. I had to do this a month ago, and then I forgot again. So anyway, the backwards S is a minuscule. It is a letter of the Latin alphabet. Depending on the context in which the letter is used, it is based on the numeral 2 or the Latin letter S. Early forms of the letter S, currently only used in Macedonian Cyrillic, could resemble either a forward or reversed S. So there you go. That was the first result when I typed in what is a backward S. Now we're all caught up here. So there's this quote. What do you think the best use case for XRP Ledger will be? Question mark. And then there's the backwards S plus XRPL equals question mark. That's what they put out there. And then they got this little, looks like a logo, but it's the backwards X inside of a red circle. So there you go. That's what they put out into the world. And then the piece continues here. Last month, Ross dropped another line about his thoughts on the potential for the digital asset. And here's another quote now. We've never wanted to be only another crypto exchange on the block. Indeed, our goal from the day first was to create... Did they mean first day? Is this crypto media just being stupid again? Who speaks like that? Can you imagine? Who talks like that? Indeed, our goal from the day first. That has to be some sort of mistake. Indeed, our goal from the day first was to create a new financial ecosystem that people can easily trade different assets and spin them in real time. We're getting there. Blockchain is changing our world. XRPL. And there you go. And then the piece continues. Coinfield is one of a handful of exchanges that uses XRP as a base pair instead of Bitcoin. It now has more than 30 coins as a number of fiat currencies paired directly with XRP. The company says it will fully unveil the project at Malta AI and Blockchain Summit on November 8th. And I tell you what, this better be freaking good, all right? Because whatever this thing is, it's so mysterious. It's getting all of this press. They even got me talking about it here. It better be genuinely, like, because they're making it out like it's the bee's knees, right? Like, they're making it out like this is going to be completely revolutionary, the way that they're talking about this. So if it's anything short of that, I might be a smidge disappointed, but I don't know. Maybe they're just exuberant about what they're doing. We'll see. So hopefully it's something that doesn't sick. But hey, at least they're building on top of the XRP ledger. I do like that. If it's going to help with adoption, I mean, I'll be totally supportive here. But I don't know what this is. And I haven't seen anybody in the XRP community, not surprisingly, I haven't seen anybody in the XRP community or anywhere else have any sort of reasonable guess as to what this is supposed to be here. So I think we're actually just going to have to sit here and wait. But if you do have a thought, feel free to drop it in the comments below. All right, on to the next piece. California government includes senator and Ripple executive in blockchain working group. The Californian government has included an important Ripple executive, a senator and a Californian lawmaker among members of its newly created blockchain working group. The group, created by the Government Operations Agency, GovOps, to enable the implementation of Government Code Section 11546.9, comes as another stepping stone for Ripple to increase its usage across the U.S., as well as joining decision makers regarding the future of cryptocurrency and blockchain projects. Chin, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but the last name is spelled Chien, so Liz Chin, Ripple Labs Vice President of Global Tax and Chief Tax Counsel. She formerly held Google's head of tax for the former Asia Pacific head of tax. She's certainly no slouch, right? The cerebral Ripple employee joined the startup from General Electric, serving as the firm's global tax director and senior international tax counsel until her departure for Ripple Inc. Early August, the California Government Operations Agency Secretary, Maribel Batcher, appointed Camille Crittenden, who was the executive director of the Center for Information Technology Research, to lead the blockchain working group. And so, the point that I just want to, anytime I can highlight this, Ripple, just the concept of Ripple being the adult in the room. They are seeking to make peace with regulators. They seek regulatory clarity so that the asset class, and you could say the blockchain industry as a whole, can actually move forward with reasonable certainty as to whether or not they're complying with law. That's what Ripple wants. That's really what they seek, and that's when they state, okay, some of these privacy coins. You've even heard Ripple CEO Brad Carltonhouse talk along the lines of, okay, the privacy coins are trying to thwart the system. That's why he says he's not the only one that says it, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't you love that saying? Who would do that? That's terrible. But they're working indeed with obviously federal regulators, but state level as well. So it's going to take a long time. I don't expect regulatory clarity anytime soon, but one day it will be here. Check out this. I just wanted to share this with you real quick because I found this picture kind of comical. I mean, just look at it if you can, if you're not driving here. You've got a picture. It looks like some sort of biblical picture, a Noah's Ark here, I'm presuming. And then you've got David Schwartz's face here. That's Ripple CEO, co-creator of the XRP ledger, and he's holding up a little Ripple logo here. And then the Ark, apparently, it says here, runs on Ripple's ILP. So there you go. And so here's this tweet from XRP Prince. It's XR Prince is how he writes it here. The man yelled at Joel Katz, that's David Schwartz, put faith into the ILP and XRP, you and your whole family, because I have found it righteous in this generation. Take with you every kind of regulated cryptocurrency and offer others who suffer from old tech salvation with speed. Ripple 1-1. So I don't know. I found it kind of comical. You can tell what you think. Maybe you think it's dumb. I don't know. But I thought I'd share it with you real quick. All right, last piece here. Joe Rogan ponders Google's quantum breakthrough, says it could be a huge threat to Bitcoin and crypto. On a new episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, actress and comedian Roseanne Barr tells host Joe Rogan that traditional forms of money will become a thing of the past. According to Barr, quote, there's not going to be any more money. Insightful. Rogan then wonders if there's going to be any more cryptocurrencies, noting recent advancements from Google in the field of quantum computing. Such developments could potentially lead to a device that's powerful enough to crack modern forms of encryption, spelling trouble for Bitcoin and the thousands of other cryptocurrencies that are based on blockchain technology. Says Rogan, quote, this Google quantum computer thing, they think it's a huge threat to cryptocurrency. I'm too stupid to understand whether or not they're right. I'm way too uninformed to. But what they're trying to say is there would be no way you would be able to encode or encrypt this information that would keep it from this insane computing power they're developing. And then the piece continues here. And by the way, actually, before I continue reading here, I have talked about this recently. I actually covered some tweets from Nick Bougalis. He leads the C++ team over at Ripple, and has coded on top of the XRP ledger for a rather long time, and is rather smart and rather informed. And he said that this whole thing is blown out of proportion. When this whole thing from Google, when they made their announcement, he says it's all just completely blown out of proportion. No one's anywhere near having a quantum computer that's powerful enough to actually do the things that Joe Rogan's talking about here, instead of talking about making cryptocurrencies and the cryptography that secures and making that obsolete. Nowhere near that. And also, on top of that, there are solutions. And again, I don't know anything about how this stuff works. I'm just reporting what he said. But there are indeed solutions, fixes against that type of technology. But it's not necessary, and apparently humans are nowhere near figuring this stuff out anyway. So just take that for what it's worth. That's what I've read. Okay. Anyway, the piece continues. Some analysts, however, caution that Google is far away from breaking Bitcoin, and note that research on how to protect the internet and blockchain technology against the forces of quantum computing is well underway. Digital money pioneer David Chaum, a cryptographer who developed the anonymous digital currency eCash in 1983, is designing his own digital asset called Praxis that he says will feature anonymous transactions and quantum resistance. QAN is another project focused on creating blockchain that can resistant. Freaking crypto media. This is a broken sentence. QAN is another project focusing on creating blockchain that can resistant a potential quantum threat. They mean resist. They wrote resistance because it's crypto media, and like the people that write this stuff, they're like 5 years old. And they don't want to like spell check their stuff and check it for grammatical errors and sentence structural errors. And okay, cool. I'll just find them all for they you know what? They should pay me to fix this. Come on. Anyway, the company's chief technology officer, Johan Polaksak, tells Bitcoin.com, quote, "The notion of Google achieving a quantum breakthrough sounds very dramatic, but in reality, it's hard to gauge the significance at this time. How can we be sure that Google's quantum computer is more powerful than D-Wave's, for example, which surpassed 1,000 qubits 4 years ago?" Dragos Aly, a quantum computing and encryption researcher at Imperial College London, says Google is far from cracking the cryptographic algorithms utilized by Bitcoin. And here's a quote now. "Google's supercomputer currently has 53 qubits. In order to have any effect on Bitcoin or most other financial systems, it would take at least about 1,500 qubits, and the system must allow for the entanglement of all of them. As you add more qubits, the system becomes more and more unstable, though. Researchers can try different approaches for solving these issues, so maybe there are ways to mitigate these problems, but right now, we are quite far from breaking Bitcoin." And I also say this, there are all sorts of systems that are encrypted the world over. So if this actually was to become a problem, look, I can't imagine that there's not some sort of way to combat this. But you'd be talking about problems the world over. Like people like to highlight cryptocurrencies because they're cryptographically secure, but cryptography is used all over the frickin' planet. So it's a much bigger deal than people let on. If there was no defense against this, but again, we're also nowhere near having that powerful of a quantum computer. So take that for what it's worth. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I very much appreciate all the support. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!